What's going on, hikers? We're stuck here. Let me show you. It is a snowy paradise right now at the Stringer household. Let's measure it. Bye, Golden Graham. Petey, you coming? Come on, Petey. Good boy. Let's see. What do we got here? 6 inches of snow. Too cold to be hiking for me. Snowed in at the house. Let's do a little Q&A. Oh, here we are in the Stringer studio. Look at my transitions coming back from the sunglasses. Let me give y'all a quick studio tour if you're curious behind the scenes. If not, I'll just drop it right here what time the Q&A starts. But if you are curious, check it out. So when you come in, you'll see I have a backpack I haven't unpacked from my last trip. This is where I do a ton of editing. Got a video that I've already done, still laying there, and a little gear storage. Oh, check this out. I got some new gear, got some Ultras, the Ultra Temps. Haven't tried them on yet, hope they fit. Got size 15. I like the blue and black combo. And then on the backpacking podcast, we're going to be working with Gossamer gear this year. So one of the things that I ordered from them was one of their backpacks. I threw on a little feed bag and water storage. I got a pocket to go with it too. And then got one of these super light umbrellas. And there's some other cool stuff in there. Got this hat. Check that out. How awesome is that? Now, speaking of the podcast, this is where I recorded at oftentimes. Got my little mobile setup here with the soundboard, microphone, and everything. Check out the view. Get to watch the sunset every time I'm editing videos here. It's a winter wonderland out there. All right, let's get set up over here and answer some of y'all's questions. There we go. Got you all set up. If you don't know how Q&As work, basically you as a viewer ask me questions and I answer them. So I made a post on my community tab and a bunch of you answered. I don't have time to answer them all. I also put it on my Instagram and Facebook. So I have some questions from each. Let's start with Corling99. Have you ever tried hot tent camping? I have not tried it yet. Got my phone here, by the way. That's what I'm looking at, answering y'all's questions. I haven't tried hot tent camping, but I'm highly intrigued. It doesn't get super cold in Kentucky, so it's not really necessary if I have the right gear to do hot tent camping, but it seems like it'd be fun. Ben Hiking Outdoors asks how to get over the anxiety of solo backpacking. How did your first solo trip go? Well, if you're wondering that, I will link it above because I actually recorded it, and you can check that trip out. If you're feeling anxious about it, maybe get some trips under your belt with some friends and then go solo. I also would suggest, if you're feeling really anxious, you can be safe out there. Make sure you take like a Garmin inReach or some kind of emergency beacon device, and maybe that'll help alleviate some anxiety. Or if you have like a dog, that'd be awesome too. Is that really considered solo? I would say so. Southern Hike, what is up, man? Good to hear from you. Southern Hike asks, if you could only do one for the rest of your life, what would it be? Hammock or tent? Well, I would probably have to default to tent because it's more versatile, but I love my hammock. It's just that some trips you go on, like if you're going out into the desert, hammock's not really applicable. John Kelly, he asked, when can we get Jeremiah Stringer Hikes merch? And then 9 of you all like that. That's funny. John has been pestering me on the Backpacking Podcast, which I co-host with him, for a while now about some merchandise. And I promised him at like 10,000 subscribers I'd do it, and I still haven't, and the channel's growing and growing. I don't have an exact date on that, but I will keep looking into it for you. Sean R. What trails outside the U.S. are on your hiking bucket list? Well, I haven't compiled a hiking bucket list of any hikes at all, but if I was looking outside the U.S., my wife and I are wanting to do the Camino de Santiago, which is a trip across Spain. It's more like a pilgrimage. It's not like a backcountry style backpacking trip, but we're wanting to do that next summer, not this coming summer, but the following, if if the world is back to a normal place and we can actually fly over there to Spain. Lorenzo asks, most average backpackers are now using the ultralight backpacks, especially DCF type. I'd like to know more pros and cons on owning one. So not really a question, but I think that would be a good dedicated video. It's too much to talk about just in this one little clip. I'd say if I wanted to keep it short, pros to having an ultralight DCF backpack. It's fairly water resistant and it's super light and tear resistant, but the cons would be it's not going to last as long and it's probably going to be more expensive. Another thing I want to hit on is the DCF backpacks. I feel like a lot of people are misinformed on this. Not to call out Lorenzo specifically, but if you look at the market of backpacks, most are framed backpacks, not the ultralight frameless backpacks. And if you're just getting into backpacking, that's what I would suggest is a framed backpack, because you're still kind of figuring out how to pack your gear up and how it should carry and what you should take, and you probably got a lot of heavy gear. So DCF backpacks are awesome, but they're not really good for entry level in my opinion. Kevin Fry Adventures, what is up? Kevin asks, what are your 3 favorite pieces of gear that you own/own? So I did a video last week that was about my favorite gear from 2021. I will default to that one, but I will share with you my current favorite piece of gear is the Sunset Chair by Hammocks. Even though it's 3 pounds 4 ounces, it's super comfortable, and since I'm over 6 foot, it's my go-to with this wintertime conditions, not backpacking very far, maybe a mile or 2 in. Drew Jenner asks, what is the best beverage to drink on trail? I want to know what to put in my new Jeremiah Stringer Hikes water bottle when it comes. You're funny. Probably my favorite beverage on trail in the wintertime is hot chocolate or tea. Coffee's great too. If it's summertime, I sweat a lot. So I like those Noon tablets, and you can break those apart and put them in water bottles, and it will help you replenish all those electrolytes. Let's go to LR. They asked, if you got to go on a backpacking trip with another YouTuber, who would you pick? Also, who do you think would win in a wrestling match between Kyle Haytaking and Dan Becker? That would be fun. If you don't know who those people are, definitely check out their channels here on YouTube. As for the hiker that I would pick, I don't know. Probably, it would be super cool to do a backpacking trip with like a couples trip, my wife and I with Darwin and his wife, or like Dixie and Dixie's boyfriend, because those are 2 of the YouTube channels that really inspired me to get on YouTube. Terry G asks, I used to love backpacking in the gorge but quit doing overnights because of car break-ins at the trailhead. Is that still an issue there? I would like to start backpacking the Red River Gorge again. Red River Gorge is here in Kentucky where I live, and I do a ton of backpacking there. And car break-ins are a really big issue. That is true. They are still an issue. I haven't had mine broken into here, but my friend Backpacking with Jason, he has a channel here on YouTube as well. Somebody broke into his a while back and stole everything out of it, including the battery. So yeah, that is something to be aware of for sure. Tennessee Tyler 1796. The only question I have is, when are we going backpacking together? I think you're close. All jokes aside, do you collab with strangers? What are your thoughts on collaborating with locals? Have you personally benefited from collaborating? If so, how? So that's a lot of questions. Let me first say, it is sometimes odd on YouTube. You know, you get people, not to call you out, Tyler. It's sometimes odd because it's just a stranger asking you if you want to go backpacking. What do you say to that? You know, they support you and they watch your videos and they feel like they know you, but also they could be an axe murderer. So I typically don't go on hikes with strangers. There are some people that, like one I met here at the gym, and he was like, are you Jeremiah Stringer? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, hey, I watch your YouTube videos. And I ended up going backpacking, or actually a day hike with him. But other than that, I don't really go with strangers because of the reasons I just told you. As for collaborating with other YouTubers, yeah, that helps. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to do a collaboration with another YouTuber though, I would suggest getting to know them first and maybe do a backpacking trip together, get to know them a little more before you start asking about, hey, let's do a video together to grow. Kirky Camping says, what footwear do you recommend for spring and beyond for the coming year? Can I have another question, please? Fitness. How do I up my overall fitness? Carrying my pack and just walking? Do you recommend a YouTube video with some sort of regimen? Do I join a gym or just go out and hike? Just looking to be a wee tad fitter to make a day out that wee bit easier. I'm with you, Kirky. As for the fitness, do whatever fitness works well for you. You know, it could be going out, and if you have time, doing day hikes or throwing your backpack on, or if a gym works better for you, it's just whatever is going to work best for your personal life and what your time schedule is. Maybe try out the stair stepper too. Those things will put you into beast mode. For the shoes, I'm trying these out. Ultras are fine. I don't like waterproof in the spring. Your feet are probably going to get wet. We get a lot of rains. There's a lot of mud and that kind of stuff. So personally, I like trail runners that, you know, they'll let your feet kind of air out and re-dry while you're walking, because if you have waterproof shoes and your feet get wet, they're probably not going to dry out very fast. Hunter's Trip. Congratulations on starting the Florida Trail with Taps. Everybody always asks, where is Jeremiah? But how is Jeremiah? Well, I'm doing great, man. We're settling in here at the new house. We moved in October, and still producing videos. We got a new year, so I guess you can say the whole new year, new me thing, kind of cliche, but I'm doing great, man. I can't wait to see you and talk to you. Hike This Way asks, insoles, or do you just use what comes with shoes? I always use insoles. I usually buy, I'll link them in the description below if you want to check them out, but they're these power steps. I've been using them for years, and so far they've worked for me. KJ Clem 94 asked, when is Bridget going back out with you? I love the trips you all take together. Well, first, that is very sweet of you to say. We have a camping trip coming up very, very soon. Hopefully we'll get to go with another couple and hang out. I don't have a backpacking trip planned. I think that we may have something in the works with another couple that is backpacking related, but this is just camping only that we're going to do, and we'll do some day hikes. Hopefully show some of my friends around my region of Kentucky and upper part of Tennessee. Cindy Overfield Taylor says, I'm in the throes of purchasing a hammock system. Would love any tips you may have. Looking at the Chameleon. I know nothing except what I've seen on YouTube. Would love to know a middle of the road tarp that won't break my bank but will keep me warm and dry. I'm with you. The hammock system, that is a hard thing to get into because there's just so much going on with the suspension and the tarp and the underquilts and the top quilts, and how do you want to set it all up, and what's the distance of the trees. It is a lot of stuff. For the tarp, I'm going to say I use the Thunderfly by Warbonnet, and it has done me really well. It's not DCF, so it's a lot less expensive. It's a little bit heavier and doesn't dry as fast, but it's kind of more middle of the road. Benjamin Gocher says, 26.9 thousand subscribers. What's the ultimate goal and dream regarding your superb channel? Where would you like to see it be and why? Well, first of all, thank you, Benjamin, for the compliment of the superb channel. I don't know where the channel will go or where I will take it. Right now, I'm just having fun with it. If we're talking about paying the bills, I don't see going YouTube full-time in the super near future. I have a full-time job as a teacher, and I love working with the kids and actually making a difference and building relationships. YouTube is super fun too, though. I get a lot of the same stuff out of that. I get to meet a lot of super cool people and travel a lot. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Before we end the video, why don't we go say hi to Bridget and see what she's doing. Bridget, are you still in your meeting? Oh, she's in a meeting. Come on, buddy, Graham. Well, it appears she's too busy for me and you. But more videos coming soon. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give me one of these, subscribe to the channel, and kick that notification bell for the latest notifications. We'll see you in the next one.